All right, ready to dive into another crypto potato article.
Always up for a deep dive, especially with the crypto market being so, well, lively these days.
This was titled, Dogecoin tapped new 3.5-year peak. Bitcoin price slips below $100 K. Weekend watch. Published December 8th, 2024. Bitcoin flirting with that $100,000 mark again. Dogecoin making some serious moves.
Yeah.
Definitely caught my eye.
Yeah, no shortage of excitement, that's for sure.
Definitely. Lot to unpack, so maybe we start with Bitcoin. That post-election surge was pretty remarkable, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Under $70,000 pre-election, and then, bam, almost hits $100,000. Gotta make you wonder what's going on there.
Right. I mean, that kind of jump has to get people's attention, right?
For sure. Breaking through a barrier like $100,000, it's psychological, you know?
Right.
More investors believing in Bitcoin long-term, maybe. But then,
And that drop. Talk about a reality check.
the article called it a violent rejection, and it kind of was, almost touching $100,000 and then back under $90,000. Blink and you missed it.
Wild, right? So what happened?
Well, this is where price discovery comes in. Basically, the market trying to figure out what Bitcoin is really worth at this new level.
Okay, so it's like Bitcoin testing the waters,
Hmm.
seeing if it can actually hold its value above $100,000.
Exactly. And right now, it seems like it's still struggling to find that stability, that initial surge. Probably a mix of hype, speculation, you know the drill. But once it hit uncharted territory,
People started taking profits.
yep, triggering a cascade of sell orders. And then
Yeah.
you've got leverage.
Leverage. Always got to factor that in. Quick reminder for our listeners, how does that work again?
Sure, leverage basically lets traders amplify their gains, but also their losses, borrowing funds to increase exposure, right? Problem is, when the price starts dropping.
Those leverage positions get liquidated, which drives the price down even further.
Exactly. It's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
And it just highlights how volatile crypto can be, especially Bitcoin. Big potential rewards, sure, but the risks are there too.
Definitely something to keep in mind, especially if you're new to the crypto game. But hey, while Bitcoin's been on this roller coaster, Dogecoin's been making headlines of its own. Hit a 3.5-year peak, almost reached $1.50.
Yep, hard to ignore that. Quite a jump for, well, a meme coin, right?
Right. So what's driving that surge? Any insights from the article?
A few things. First, there's this alt season buzz going around social media.
Alt season, as in altcoins having their moment.
Exactly. When Bitcoin takes a breather, altcoins often see their chance to shine. And Dogecoin, with its massive online community, well, it tends to be at the forefront of those rallies.
Makes sense. Anything else contributing to Dogecoin's rise?
Well, there's also this speculation about PKE, another meme coin. The article mentions it. Some folks think it might even surpass SE by the end of the year.
Whoa, a battle of the meme coins. But seriously, what's fueling that speculation?
Both PPE and S seen massive price increases this year. Social media hype, celebrity endorsements, it all adds up.
So it's like the more people talk about a coin, the more it goes up, regardless of what's actually backing it.
That's part of it, yeah. Meme coins. They're super susceptible to these speculative bubbles. Short-term gains can be huge, but long-term, it's anyone's guess.
Fair enough. A word of caution for our listeners there, maybe. But it's not just Dogecoin and meme coins making moves. PPE hit an all-time high. XRP's rebounding. Seems like Bitcoin's not the only one having a party.
Nope, definitely not. And it's a good reminder that Bitcoin's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle.
Right. So Bitcoin's finding its way, altcoins are heating up, and Dogecoin's riding that meme coin wave. What about the overall crypto market, though? Where do things stand there?
Well, their article mentions the total market cap hit $3.82 trillion. Dipped a little from the previous day, sure, but still.
Still a massive number. Shows continued growth and interest, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And while Bitcoin still holds a big chunk of the market,
It feels like altcoins are gaining ground, right?
definitely gaining traction, carving out their own space. It's like the crypto market's this bustling city and Bitcoin's the established downtown. But all these altcoins, they're like new neighborhoods popping up, each with its own vibe and energy, adding to the overall, well, excitement of the city.
I like that analogy.
Mhm.
So as this crypto city keeps expanding, it'll be fascinating to see what happens next. Which
Right.
coins rise to the top, how the landscape changes.
Absolutely. Buckle up because things are moving fast.
No kidding. All right, before we head to part two, any key takeaways you'd want our listener to remember?
I'd say remember that the crypto market is dynamic, complex, lots of potential, but definitely risks involved. Do your research, be cautious, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Solid advice as always. We'll dig deeper into some specific coins in the next part of this deep dive. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Still diving into that crypto potato article. Dogecoin tap new 3.5-year peak. Bitcoin price slips below $100. Weekend watch. And last we left off, we were talking about how the crypto market is growing, altcoins getting more and more attention.
It's an exciting space, that's for sure. And the article actually dives a bit deeper into a few specific cryptos. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, DOT, that gives us some analysis to chew on.
Oh, nice. So let's start with Bitcoin. What did you find interesting about where it's at right now?
Well, like we touched on earlier, it's in this price discovery phase, trying to figure out its true value now that it's broken through that $100,000 mark.
Right, and that can mean some pretty wild price swings, huh? Like that violent rejection the article mentioned. What factors do you think could influence Bitcoin's price in the coming weeks, months?
That's a good question. A lot of things could come into play. Institutional adoption, for one. If more big companies, financial institutions, start investing in Bitcoin.
That can push the price up.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's the regulatory landscape. Governments around the world are still figuring out how to handle crypto, right? So any new regulations.
Could have a big impact, for better or worse.
Exactly. Clarity around regulations could encourage more mainstream investors to jump in, but stricter rules could scare them off.
Makes sense. What about tech advancements? Anything on the horizon that could affect Bitcoin's price?
Well, the Lightning Network is gaining traction. It's a second-layer solution designed to make Bitcoin more scalable, transactions faster.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. So if more people start using the Lightning Network,
It could make Bitcoin more attractive for everyday use, maybe boost demand and drive the price up.
so it sounds like Bitcoin's price is going to be influenced by a bunch of different things: institutional adoption, regulations, tech advancements, and of course, just general market sentiment.
Yep, it's a complex equation, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
that's part of what makes it so fascinating. You never know what's going to happen next.
True, true. Okay, let's move on to Ethereum. The article didn't really analyze its recent performance, but I've noticed it's been on an upward trend too. Not as dramatic as Bitcoin, maybe. Any thoughts on why that might be?
Well, Ethereum, it's fundamentally different from Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's mainly seen as a store of value, digital gold, all that. But Ethereum,
It's a platform for all those decentralized applications, apps, right?
exactly. And that gives it a whole different set of value drivers. It's not just about price speculation. It's about the utility of the technology, the dApps built on it, all that.
Right. Ethereum's the foundation for a whole ecosystem of projects, DeFi, NFTs, and so much more. So it's not just riding the waves of market sentiment, it's tied to the success of those projects.
Exactly. So as DeFi and NFTs continue to grow, Ethereum's likely to benefit as well.
Interesting. Okay, the article also mentions XRP. It's had a nice rebound lately after being down for a while. What are your thoughts on XRP, both its recent performance and its future prospects?
XRP is a tricky one. It's the native crypto for Ripple, which is focused on cross-border payments for financial institutions.
Right, I remember that. But they've also been caught up in that legal battle with the SEC, haven't they?
Yep, and that's definitely created some uncertainty for investors. But this recent rebound, it could mean that some investors are feeling optimistic about Ripple's chances in court.
So if they win that case,
It could remove a big obstacle for XRP adoption, maybe even lead to some serious price gains.
okay, so the legal situation is a big factor for XRP. But what about its actual utility? Facilitating those cross-border payments, is that a significant growth driver on its own?
It could be, yeah, cross-border payments. It's a huge market. And XRP offers a faster, cheaper solution compared to the traditional ways of doing things. So if Ripple keeps landing partnerships with big financial institutions,
We could see a lot more XRP adoption down the line.
potentially, yeah, it's one to keep an eye on, that's for sure.
All right, last crypto the article looks at is DOT, the Polkadot network, right?
Right.
The blockchain of blockchains. I've heard a lot about it, but gotta admit, I'm still wrapping my head around it all.
Well, it's a pretty ambitious project. Basically, Polkadot wants to connect all these different blockchains together, let them communicate, share data.
So like that, building bridges between different crypto ecosystems, allowing them to work together more smoothly.
Exactly. And that whole idea of interoperability, it's considered pretty key for the future of blockchain tech. Instead of all these isolated blockchains doing their own thing, Polkadot wants to create a more connected, collaborative landscape.
That makes sense. But where does DOT fit into all this? What role does it play?
So DOT has a few different purposes within the Polkadot network. It's used for governance, letting DOT holders vote on network upgrades and stuff. It's used for staking, where you can earn rewards for helping secure the network. And then it's also used for Burjot parachain bonding.
Parachain bonding, that's a new one.
Yeah, basically it's how projects connect their own blockchains to Polkadot. So you could say DOT is kind of like the fuel that powers the whole ecosystem.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. And the article mentioned that Polkadot's been gaining ground in the DeFi space. What's driving that?
Well, that interoperability we were talking about,
Yeah.
it makes Polkadot really attractive for DeFi developers. By connecting to Polkadot, they can tap into a wider user base, access liquidity from different blockchains.
So it's like creating this big DeFi marketplace where projects from different ecosystems can come together and interact.
Yeah, something like that. And all that interconnectivity could lead to some really innovative DeFi projects down the line.
Cool. All right, so we've talked Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, DOT. That's quite the lineup. What are your overall thoughts on these coins and just the crypto market in general as we head into the final part of our deep dive?
I think it's a really exciting time to be following crypto. The market is maturing. There are all these new projects popping up, new use cases.
Definitely feels like things are moving fast.
They are. There are definitely still risks involved, of course,
Yeah.
but the potential for innovation is huge.
Can't argue with that. All right, we'll wrap up this deep dive in part 3, so stick around for some final thoughts on market dominance and the future of cryptocurrency. Back for the final stretch of this deep dive into that Crypto Potato article. We've covered a lot, haven't we?
We have. Bitcoin, altcoins, Polkadot. It's been a whirlwind tour of the crypto market.
Definitely feels that way. So anything else in the article that we should hit before we wrap things up?
Yeah, actually, there's one more concept I think is worth talking about, market dominance.
Okay, market dominance. Remind me what that is again?
Basically, it's about how much of the total crypto market cap is represented by a particular coin. And the article points out that Bitcoin's dominance, it's been declining.
Really? So even though Bitcoin is still, the big dog, its share of the market is shrinking.
That's right. It's sitting at around 51.4% right now.
Interesting. So what does that tell us about the overall crypto landscape?
Well, I think it shows that the market's becoming more diverse, less reliant on Bitcoin to drive everything. Altcoins are attracting more investment, carving out a bigger slice of the pie.
Which makes sense, given everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
All this innovation happening in the altcoin space. DeFi, NFTs, new blockchains.
Exactly. And as those projects mature, gain adoption, it's natural for their value to go up, right? Which then shifts that market dominance a bit.
So it's not necessarily that Bitcoin's losing value. It's more that the overall crypto market is growing and altcoins are playing a bigger role in that growth.
You got it. And I think this trend, it has some pretty interesting implications for the future of crypto.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, it suggests that we're moving away from this idea of Bitcoin maximalism. The belief that Bitcoin is the only crypto that matters.
Right. It's becoming more about embracing a multi-coin ecosystem.
Exactly. Not putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. And that diversification, it could actually make the crypto market more stable, more resilient in the long run.
That's a good point. So instead of betting on a single winner, it's more about building a diversified portfolio, spreading the risk across a bunch of promising crypto assets.
Exactly. It's an exciting time to be in crypto, that's for sure.
I agree. All right, well, I think that about covers it for this deep dive. We've explored Bitcoin's price swings, the rise of altcoins, the potential of projects like Ethereum and Polkadot, and now this whole idea of shifting market dominance. What would you say is the big takeaway here? What should our listener keep in mind?
I guess the main thing is that the crypto world is constantly changing. It's complex, it's dynamic, lots of potential, but also some risks. So staying informed, doing your research, being a little cautious, those are all important if you're going to navigate this space.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
As always, I appreciate you sharing your insights with us. Always learn a ton from these deep dives.
Happy to do it. The crypto world keeps things interesting, that's for sure. Always something new to learn, some new development around the corner.
Absolutely. And for our listener, we hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of what's been happening in the crypto market lately. Remember, knowledge is power, especially in a fast-moving space like this. So stay informed, explore different perspectives, and keep an eye on what's coming next. Who knows what the future of crypto holds? Until next time, happy exploring.